Oh shit. I didn't mean to go to this next mission. My bad. Hold on. I'll back this out.
Is isolated around a nearby Vex structure. They haven't yet had a chance to fabricate heavy fortifications.
That's not what I said to do.
Expect their interference as well.
Go show them the power of humanity's champions.
Introducing Peacock, the new free streaming service from NBC Universal. It's hit movies, current shows, live sports, trending bits, and timeless hits. And that's why you can't not watch. Peacock. Watch for free, upgrade for more. Stream now at peacocktv.com. Law & Order SVU streaming now.
Hard work is its own reward, but so too is relaxation.
PlayStation Chill Out Radio on Pandora.
In the cabin of a Lincoln SUV, your comfort is woven into every stitch and coded into every feature. Schedule a private vehicle showing to experience the power of sanctuary only found in the Lincoln. Until then, keep enjoying Chill Out Radio. Tap now to start listening.
There's so much goddamn weight on my shoulders. All I'm trying to do is live my motherfucking life. Supposed to be happy, but I'm only getting colder. Wear a smile on my face, but there's a demon inside. There's so much goddamn weight on my shoulders. All I'm trying to do is live my motherfucking life. Supposed to be happy, but I'm only getting colder. Wear a smile on my face, but there's a demon inside. Goddamn weight on your shoulders that you can't just live your motherfucking life. The story's getting old and my heart is getting colder. I just wanna be Jekyll, but I'm always flying high. You got rocks in your head, I can hear them rolling round. You can say that you're above it, but you're always falling down. Is there a method to your madness? Is it all about pride? Seems everyone I know, they got a demon inside. There's a demon inside. All I'm trying to do is live my motherfucking life. Wear a smile on my face, but there's a demon inside. There's a demon inside.
like to work at Linus Media Group? Well, I think it's great. I mean, my name's on the building. You know how that feels walking up and being like, yeah, my name's on the building. But if you want the real answer, you'll probably have to ask the poor schmucks who do the actual grunt work around here. So we made a deal. They said, if you agree not to watch the video, we will give the viewers the real honest answer. And I kind of went, okay. The Be Quiet Pure Base 600 features a versatile design, noise insulation, and optimization for different liquid-cooled radiator configurations. Learn more at the link below.
I remember thinking, this guy is so quirky,
Psychotic.
Petite. Hyperactive insanity.
Yeah, somewhat like insane, slightly insane, but not much insane.
I mean, we're not dead in the water yet, so I got there at 5:01, no answer. And my first thoughts are, holy crap, this guy is so intense that I'm a minute late for my interview. He locks up shop, leaves, doesn't even consider me.
He's coming at you with all this energy and all this drive, and you just kind of have to match that.
Like, has no semblance of personal time and is more than willing to, like, spend every hour of his life working.
Linus as a leader, I think, has always been specifically good at inspiring drastic action, and he transforms that once you're already here to inspire gratuitous amounts of overtime that may or may not be.
Linus had this idea to make videos about building a computer to a level that no one else had ever tried to make. So this was our first build guide. It took us like 18 hours.
Close down the retention arm. Little bit of strength required here.
I think we finished at like 4 a.m.
I have never regretted anything more than taking the job at Linus Media Group for the first 2 weeks. And after that, things got a lot better. We had so much work to do.
Linus is very decisive, but he's very vague in his decisiveness. He doesn't really know how you're going to do something, just what you're going to do.
When Linus tells you that something will be done in 2 hours, I always double the amount of time in my head, and more often than not, I am correct.
Quite a bit of fun to work for in like a constantly disorganized and a bit wacky kind of way.
So I've never used a reciprocating saw. Boom, and it's plugged in.
I get kind of weird demands from Linus. Like I said, not working with him much, I get demands like, can you paint my face? Can you find this? Can you do that? So as a leader, I think he's very random and interesting.
So I never heard one of my bosses like fart audibly from across the office before, but
if you're wondering at any point if we're actually as unorganized and incompetent as we seem on camera, it's actually like that. We're not faking that.
And actually, this was a mistake. I mean, everything about this was a mistake, but this in particular, filling the glass, that was a mistake.
He had like the jankiest setup, and as I walk away, the test bench fell, and it's probably the scariest moment of my life. Linus comes back, everything's on the floor.
We lost the footage of something that had been shot earlier where Linus was installing something in his attic. Linus was definitely yelling and swearing.
Like, I've broken some stuff by accident before, and he was mad, but that's like really short, short burst of anger.
It's very rare where you're freaking out and I'm not.
I only freak out when it's really, really bad.
Whenever he's like, no, it's okay, and then he walks away.
What?
That's the GPS antenna.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Everything is fine.
Everything is fine, and I am calm.
And once he gets to a certain boiling point,
you can feel it.
The kind of mad where he gets really high pitched and he goes.
I was doing the WAN doc, and I messed up one of the topics, and he came upstairs and he just said, "You're fired." And I didn't know if he was joking or not, so I just continued working, and everything went fine. And then about a week later, I accidentally copyright striked our channel, and then Linus said, "You're fired." And I thought that time maybe he was serious, because, I almost took down the whole channel single-handedly.
I've had some
terrible, terrible bosses. Sometimes, I've been able to get one, either like a boss who knew what they were doing, or like a boss who like cares about people, but getting both of those together has been a new experience.
He's really professional, and efficient. He doesn't like to waste time.
Nothing if not willing to do things entirely the wrong way for the sake of finishing this video right now.
After 30 minutes of me sitting out front of the door, just waiting for somebody to answer the door, he calls me and he goes, "Oh, I completely forgot about our interview." And Linus is like, "This question's is stupid, this one's dumb, I don't want to ask this one." And then he puts down the paper and goes, "All right, are you into bestiality? Do you watch bestiality?"
I was like the 25th person to get interviewed. By the time he got to me and I was last, I think he had a real strict regimen of what he wanted to get through, and he probably didn't have any time or energy to waste on any bullshit.
"Excuse me?" And he's like, "Yeah, you heard me." And I'm like, no? And he's like, "Ha, just messing with you."
He found my Twitter and read all of my tweets, asked me why I tweeted that, what that meant, who I follow, why I follow them, so that was a little bit offside for me. It was fine, but a little bit strange.
The first interaction I had with Linus, actually on the phone, was my first interview.
It was at an Indian restaurant with his children. It was kind of like a first date, but someone brought along a baby.
The whole thing was full of really bad jokes.
So I was a lot of nervous laughs and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was like an interview, but I didn't know it was an interview. I was just literally there to have lunch with him.
One of the things that I actually like about the relationship that Linus and I have is I can no filter and he can no filter, and everyone's fine when we're done.
When I started, he didn't really know what he was doing. I didn't really know what I was doing. And we both kind of grew into figuring that out.
Undo this stupid thing and then undo this other stupid, ridiculous thing. They are stupid.
I'm sure there's stuff that comes up that catches him off guard or whatever, but he seems to be pretty on top of everything at all times. Very well prepared for everything that comes up.
I hate when he's right, he hates when I'm right, but we're both often right about the things that we're respectively working on. And that balance is fun, and also frustrating.
I'm pretty sure I've only probably talked to him one-on-one for maybe about, I want to say 15 minutes. Been here for 2 years, because he's just so busy, just back and forth.
It's kind of like hide and seek. I always need to find him. On the car ride to or from somewhere is when we can actually talk about whatever. So that's when you actually get to know him as a person, whereas when we're all at work, there's really time for nothing else but working.
Throughout the years, I kind of saw Linus as this crazy maniac, and I was just trying to help him do whatever it was he was trying to achieve. But recently, because I've taken on managerial roles, he's more of a teacher than before. And I don't want to turn into him, but I'd like to steal some of his skills.
It's a lot more structured here than I think a lot of people would assume.
Compared to the beginning, things are a lot more corporate. It seems like we're a lot less mobile or agile to just change directions.
There's intense meetings and there's deep statistical analysis, all this kind of stuff, which doesn't make it feel as fun.
It's actually really refreshing to have a working relationship with somebody who's, the CEO of the company. But, we're working together side by side.
He understands the value of spending good money on employees and equipment so that the product that we make, which is videos in this case, is good.
$138,000 US for 2 red cameras and the bullshit accessories that they make you buy. $60,000 in hard drives to store all this crap on. Another $20,000 in NVMe SSDs so that all of our editors can edit red footage off of our NAS at the same time.
He cares. He cares about all of us that work here. He cares about you guys watching. And he's just a loving father.
I don't know. I mean, he says he's not going to watch it.
That's bullshit. Everyone knows that Linus is going to watch this, and then he's going to come around and be like, so, heard you think I say it's fun every time I'm not.
I've always felt that a leader should ride a horse. And I've never seen him on horseback. So I guess if I were going to say one thing that Linus could do to improve himself as a leader in my eyes, is I'd like to see him on a horse more. Just, it would make me feel a lot more at ease.
We have got a huge giveaway for everybody today. We've got 25 of Tesoro's new tuned in-ear Pro headphones featuring 9.2mm dynamic drivers presented in a solid, durable metal enclosure. This isn't running very well, but it's fine. We love building, benchmarking, and gaming on the kinds of showcase 1%er machines that most people can only ever dream of. But as much fun as that is, the vast majority of those rigs actually get torn down for reuse in future videos because even for us, daily driving that kind of hardware, it's just not cost effective or practical. It also kind of gives PC gaming a bad image as something that only the elite can afford, when that couldn't be farther from the truth. We've built competent esports gaming machines at great prices, and even for under $100 on this channel. And you can too, if you're willing to make some compromises. Of course, the kinds of machines that the average gamer is running are somewhere between Potato and Dream Battle Station. How do we know this? Well, the monthly Steam hardware survey, which tells us exactly which PC gaming hardware is the most popular. So, with its help, we built the most popular gaming PC on the planet, and we're going to show you guys exactly how much it would cost you to build it and what kind of performance you can expect. And today's video is brought to you by Corsair. The Corsair iQ 5000X RGB tempered glass smart case features their rapid route cable management system, smart RGB out of the box, and more. Check it out at the link down below. That's right, we've got one. A quad-core Core i7 4770K. According to the Steam hardware survey, 42.94% of you are rocking 4-core processors, with 18.03% of you running a hyper-threaded model like this one between 3.3 and 3.69 gigahertz. Nice. It turns out then that as much as we all love Ryzen right now, AMD couldn't possibly even manufacture enough of these things to put a dent in Intel's years of dominance, and as of January 2021, Team Blue still owns 72% of the install base. Now, that number is shifting, and fast. Intel is down almost 10% since December, but it's going to take time. Since motherboard choice shouldn't impact performance much, we grabbed a Z87i Deluxe from Asus that was lying around on a shelf. This combo should put us in the top range of average CPU performance according to the survey. It was important for us to find something with hyper-threading, since just shy of 20% of you apparently do have it. It's kind of amazing how long this chip has kept its relevance, and we actually checked out some reviews on Newegg and PC Part Picker leading up to this video, and it's mostly super positive, like even as recently as a couple of years ago. In the interest of strictly adhering to the specs in the Steam hardware survey, we're unfortunately going to be running this puppy at stock speed, but lots of users of this CPU report running it at 4.2, 4.3, or even 4.4 gigahertz for years at a time. That's not too shabby for a CPU that's older than our new social media coordinator. Memory was a surprising one for me. The average gamer out there, a whopping 43.85% of you, is running 16 gigs of system memory. Not bad. So, we picked up two 8-gig sticks of good old-fashioned DDR3 1866. This is actually a great middle ground today. You can still squeeze by with 8 gigs, but most AAA games are recommending 16 gigs or more, and a lot of other desktop applications can also benefit from more RAM. We're going to go ahead and assume that you guys are running your memory in dual channel mode and install it that way. You are running in dual channel mode, right? Now, a few things the survey doesn't mention include the case, power supply, cooler, and other peripherals. So we went with some Amazon bestsellers that I'm sure most of you will recognize. We've got the NZXT H510, a Hyper 212 Evo V2, and a Corsair CX550 power supply. All of them are tried and true classics, and all of them should fit comfortably within most people's budgets. That is, unlike our solid gold Xbox controller. Haha! Get subscribed so you don't miss those videos. That is like the emptiest looking computer. Now it's time for what you guys all crave. The GPU. Thing is, as much as we may all lust after ray tracing, you might be surprised to learn that the top ray tracing capable card was the RTX 2060 in 5th place with only 3.6% share. Pretty much every current card then that is capable of delivering a smooth ray traced gaming experience is conspicuously absent. The 3070 isn't even on the list, and the 3080 maintains a slim 0.6% market share. So it ended up being a pretty close race, with the GTX 1060 leading the pack at 9.4%. Get out of here. We've gone leading the pack at leading the pack at 9.4%. Get out of here. We've gone with the 6 gig model since that's how much VRAM 23.5% of you have, and with 66.7% of you running 1080p displays, this should be more than good enough. All that remains is storage. On average, you guys are running over 1 terabyte of storage. It didn't specify whether it's solid state or mechanical, so we're putting an SSD in here just to make our benchmarking run a little bit faster. And that's it. Ain't she a beauty? Looks to me like a lean, mean Steam machine. Or at least an LTT Steam game playing machine, since that whole Steam machine idea totally unexpectedly fizzled and died. Let's go ahead and fire her up. But what games should we play? How about the top 5 games on Steam? Alright, so we got CSGO, Dota 2, PUBG, Apex Legends, and Source SDK based 2013 multiplayer. Wait, is that really Gary's mod and Half-Life 2 Deathmatch in 5th place? Did this thing take us back in time? To a time when there was no LTT underwear on LTTstore.com? Nope, they're definitely there. Go check them out at the link below. As it turns out, most source mods running on Steam contribute to this inflated number, including the GTA 5 community with the 5M mod. So, Team Fortress 2 in 6th place, let's go with that. Who put this? Okay, I'm gonna fight this guy. Honestly, it's running pretty darn well. We're at 80, 90 FPS, dropping as low as like 70, but this is totally an acceptable gameplay experience. Now, you might have noticed the details of the game are looking a little basic. That's on purpose, that's so that we get enough FPS. How about not? Dang it. Oh, I'm not. I'm dead. I'm still a winner because the game ran okay. And overall, the average Steam gamer with a machine like this is having a pretty smooth experience. Only Apex Legends and PUBG fell to 60 FPS lows, with most of these competitive titles here managing closer to 100 FPS with reasonably consistent frame times. Now, that's not to say that these games wouldn't benefit from a faster machine. We did a video back in 2019 demonstrating the competitive advantage of running at higher FPS, even if you don't have a high refresh rate monitor, since your eyes will get more up-to-date information than your competitors. And CSGO is an example of a situation where that difference is quite noticeable. It's really at its best when you can crank out over 200, 300 FPS. The competency of our Steam PC shouldn't be that surprising though, I guess. Most of these games are actually from around the same era. So, to kick things up a notch, we're heading over to Twitch to see if we could use this thing to play along with our favorite streamers. We didn't plan on this part of the video, but it is an interesting point to make. Sometimes your CPU can actually be a bottleneck when it comes to downloading and installing games. But our 4770K is actually keeping up pretty nicely with a 107 megabyte per second download of COD Warzone from Battle.net. So, 20, 30% CPU usage? Not bad. Really? I make you watch a cutscene. See, every other game knows not to do this. Okay, here we go. Whee! Let's see if I can manage to stay alive slightly longer than last time. You know, the script calls for me to say this isn't running very well, but it's fine. Definitely a little chuggier and a little more tarry than what we looked at before, but actually looks not bad. Okay, that's a lot of tarry right there. When I was a kid, I'd have been absolutely elated to have anything over 60 FPS regardless of whether I had to Smear Vaseline on the screen for that free anti-aliasing. As for the rest of our games, you know, being on older hardware really isn't the end of the world. Fortnite was only a little rough when flying in on the battle bus, and even GTA 5 was able to run at plenty of FPS by default, and even look pretty decent if we didn't mind losing a little bit of frame rate. So there are a couple of lessons here for us, with the biggest one being that all it takes to join the PC master race is an interest in computers, and the gatekeepers who fawn over brand new hardware and put down anything less than the latest and greatest can go suck an egg. Because unless you're trying to run brand new AAA games on high or ultra settings, like Cyberpunk, the Medium, or Microsoft Flight Sim, you can have a really solid gaming experience with hardware like this. And the best part is that with some savvy eBaying, you can build a machine like this, or upgrade a non-gaming machine that you get your hands on for anywhere from $750 to $1,300. Or maybe even less if you're willing to get a little creative with a Dremel to fit things together. With that said, a lot of this hardware is starting to show its age, and if you upgrade it, you definitely appreciate the smoother animations and additional image quality, especially in anything fast-paced. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the average Steam hardware survey PC. Are any of you guys out there running any of these components? Of course you are. Are you still happy with them, or are you ready for an upgrade? Let us know in the comments below. Do you need to create a beautiful website without the hassle? Check out Squarespace. Their all-in-one platform makes it easy to get up and running quickly. They have award-winning templates that you can use as starting points for a wide range of projects, and if you ever need additional help, Squarespace also offers webinars.